Thanks everyone for taking the time to come out. We appreciate you making the effort and the interest you show in our club. You all would have obviously received and seen the statement that we released this morning that announced how pleased we are to have reached an agreement and agreed with Justin to a variation in his employment terms that'll see him lead our AFL program alongside Joe, but Justin is our senior coach into 2026 and beyond. The release outlined some detail that talked to the fact that Justin's current fixed term contract finishes at the end of this AFL season, at which time he'll transition into an ongoing employment arrangement from November 1 onwards. The entire club, the board, the staff, and particularly the football department and players are highly invested in what we've been building over the last 5 years or so. Our belief in Justin is incredibly strong. But not just in Justin, in the coaching group that he and Joe have worked hard to assemble into an incredibly professional and capable football staff group, and importantly a playing cohort that clearly has been assembled over an extended period that we think has an opportunity to enter into a period of contention and success. We believe that this contract change is one that better reflects the contemporary AFL landscape and is more suitable for our club, our coach and our football department at this time. We also understand that it's a bit different, and that being the case, you guys are going to have a bunch of questions, which is why we wanted you to come out here today. So as Tan said, I'm happy to field whatever questions you have in the initial phase prior to handing over to JL, who can take over from there. So throw it to the floor.
Why? Why not a normal?
Why do you get to start?
You looked at me.
That's fair.
Why?
Yeah.
I think I touched upon it, Craig, in the sense that our belief in Justin as our senior coach is incredibly strong. We feel we've got an incredibly aligned club from the board all the way through. And as we often have conversations and talked about what are potential options for us at the end of the upcoming contract end date that Justin's approaching at the end of this season, we just wanted to not necessarily just do what we've always done, and had some conversations, and this option came up in those conversations, and it's something that's commonplace in a whole range of high performance industries and environments and workplaces. And once we started to explore it a bit and go through the pluses and minuses, it became more of an option of interest to us. So it's something that, you know, at the heart of it all is something that Justin's really comfortable with, the club is really comfortable with. So once we'd finalised the arrangements, we obviously wanted to announce it.
What are the benefits compared to, you could have done nothing and not wait till the end of the year, and then you could have signed for another 1 year deal, you could have given a 3 year deal, you've gone outside those parameters. Why do that? What made you think that was the correct thing to do for this club? You said it suits the club. Why does it suit the club?
Yeah, we think this provides a level of surety and stability for our club, which is clearly important at any point in time. We also think it allows, we've struck a really good balance, and it allows Justin, but I suppose more importantly the entire football department, to zero in and focus on the upcoming season and really concentrate on what's important, which is the performance of the team. So when you weigh a number of those factors up, we thought on balance it was the right decision for us to make, and as I said, Justin was really comfortable with it. So
Simon, does this guarantee Justin to be head coach next year at the Fremantle Dockers, no matter the results this year?
Like, regardless of the contract type, whether it's a fixed term agreement or an ongoing employment arrangement that we've settled on, we're in a performance-based industry. So clearly performance, along with a whole host of factors, is a critical element of determining decisions that are made in any football club. So from that perspective, we understand that we're always going to be measured on our performance, and it's not just Justin, it's the entire club from that point of view. So there's no difference to that if we were here sitting here announcing that Justin had a 3 year fixed term agreement extension, or the ongoing employment agreement that we've arrived on.
So what's the discussion then been, or the expectations? Like any contract, there's usually KPIs for Justin to continue on next season. What are the KPIs?
Yeah, it's really interesting because most fixed term contracts in the AFL coaching landscape have notice periods, and that's something that we've agreed upon in relation to Justin's ongoing employment agreement. So there's very little change in relation to the conditions that he was operating under compared to what he moves forward. What is changed is the fact that there's no specific set end date that fixed term contracts have. So from our perspective, we're looking to continue to improve. Clearly, from our point of view, we've got our eyes set on contending. So without putting specific measures and going into the details of what we've discussed with Justin, we want to continue to get better and really contend in 2025 and beyond.
If you win it, what happens to him from a rewards perspective under these sorts of deals?
Well, he gets rewarded through a whole host of factors that are embedded into the contract from a performance bonus perspective. So that is the practical answer, I suppose. But from our point of view, if that was to occur this year, which we're all clearly hoping is the case, then this ongoing employment agreement would continue.
And then what protections have you then got if he wins, let's say he wins 3 in a row, or 2 in a row, and other clubs start coming for him, what protections have you got if he doesn't have a locked-in contract that can prevent other clubs from poaching him?
Yeah, the practical answer is that there is mechanisms built into the contract that provide us with a layer of protection that we're certainly comfortable with. I think the more pertinent point to make is that we're attempting to build a club where not only can we attract the right type of people to our environment, but more importantly, we can retain them. And clearly we identified Justin as at the head of that queue. The way we work on those sort of things and the way we're aligned as an organisation, and you'll hear Justin speak in a moment, there's no one more driven to bring success to Fremantle Football Club than Justin. And so from that point of view, those concerns aren't something that register for us.
There's obviously been examples of these types of arrangement in the past. Brendan Bolton, John Noble, Craig didn't last a year after going under this sort of agreement. What makes you think you can buck that trend?
Yeah, it's obviously something that we'd considered and understood that was precedence. I don't know the details and the context at an intimate level of those circumstances. But as I said earlier on, Eliza, we feel like this is right for us at this point in time. For our coach, for our club and for our footy department. So I have a high level of confidence this is going to work. There's clearly no guarantees in life and we understand those examples you raised that didn't quite pan out. But on balance, when we think about where we find ourselves at this point in time, we think this is the right option for us.
And who came to who? Did the club go to Justin? Did Justin come to you guys?
We've got an incredibly strong relationship and we talk about all manner of elements, not just relating to employment agreements and contracts and the like. Our relationship goes beyond the professional and, for myself, Joe Bridie, Justin, Chris Sutherland, our president, we've had ongoing discussions about a whole host of things within our club and with our industry that we think we might be able to do better. So it wasn't driven by one party in particular, it was a discussion that we had, and as it progressed and as we talked about, our AFL coaches industry and the environment that, has developed over a significant period of time, short-term extensions, contracts and the like, this option started to become more and more real. And as we worked through it, it landed pretty convincingly to all parties that it was the right way to go.
Simon, is this something applicable just to Justin or something that you look to do with all coaches moving forward?
Well, it's something that's commonplace across our business. All our key executive staff are under this type of arrangement. There's differences in the detail and things like notice periods and the like, but it's standard practice, as I said, across the broader club. I think that'll be a case-by-case basis. Historically, in football departments across the AFL landscape, it's been the fixed-term traditional contract types that have been prevalent. From our point of view, I think it'll be a case-by-case scenario and we'll look at those situations, and if we think it's applicable, we're happy to entertain it.
Assuming you've told the playing group, how was their reaction?
Yeah, great. It was fantastic. The alignment that not only Justin but his entire coaching group and all football staff have with our playing group is something that I've rarely seen in this game. So when Joe stepped that through with the playing group this morning, it was met with real enthusiasm. I think it's interesting. There's unequivocal belief and support from our playing group in Justin and his coaching team. And it was nice to see that reaffirmed in the response from the players today.
One of the frustrations I'm sure Justin might be able to attest to is that when the contracts start to sort of come up for renewal, there's a constant discussion about this. Yeah. Does moving on to something like this now open up the door for year by year, once again, talk about Justin's, I guess, longevity in his job?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it's an interesting one for you guys to consider, because the reality of this scenario is that, as I said, I don't know the intimate details of every AFL club's approach on this, but I think the vast majority of fixed-term contracts in place have a notice period that the club and the coach has agreed. So in that sense, there's no difference. We all understand there's a coach gets announced with a 3-year fixed-term contract and a 4 and 5, and I think the media in particular will turn their head and say, okay, I don't have to worry about that. But those notice periods in place mean that if performance isn't there, to your earlier question, then clearly we're in a high pressure environment, a high performance environment. The scrutiny will come. This is no difference in that sense. We just don't have a specified end date at which the contract would naturally come to an end, or you'd negotiate an extension. We think it provides, certainly internally anyway, allows us to remove a distraction.
So to that, what benefit does it have for the team, particularly in a year like this?
We think certainly removing a distraction. It might not stop the media interest, and we understand it's different, and it can create some scrutiny in some regard, or it may go away. But from our point of view, we wanted to be able to focus internally on our performance and have our football department in particular zero in on how they win as many games as possible and contend as quickly as possible. So we think this change is going to provide a benefit from that perspective, particularly internally.